神羅転生
What's up everybody, it's your boy Hokage here, welcome to the video. Today I'm going to talk about this incredible chapter of Boruto chapter 43. But before I get into my review, I want to say two things. One of those two things is very important, and I'm going to start with that one. As many of you know, 2 days ago I did a spoiler video about this chapter. And I mean, I've done many spoiler videos throughout my Boruto YouTuber career, I guess you could call it. And I think this is the first or the second time this happened. But basically the spoilers were fake, and I would like to publicly apologize for that. I don't want any of you to think wrongly or badly of Abdul or Jackson, because in that video I said that I got spoilers from them. Basically they were misled by somebody from Naruto forums, and then I did a video. It was like a chain reaction, so nobody had any ill intentions. We were simply misled. Again, I apologize. Both Jackson and Abdul feel bad about this, and from now on all of us are going to be more careful with our sources for these spoilers. Again, I apologize. I didn't delete the video because I still think that the speculations I made in that video are fun, especially now that we know that the spoilers are fake. But I corrected the title. I basically put like pinned comment as like the first thing in the title, so that everybody goes to the pinned comment, and then in the pinned comment I explain everything I said here. But anyway, it's not like this video will get any more views in the future, because like the chapter is out. Like it will get some, definitely, but not too many. The second thing that I want to say is special thanks to Different for this thumbnail. Now, as many of you know, because I've shouted out her Twitter many times in the past, her Twitter username used to go by the name of Different, right? But that Twitter is gone. Now she uses this Twitter where she's called Rin something. It's not just Rin. And special thanks to Nano for this thumbnail. Basically, I think it's beautiful. And make sure to follow her new Twitter. I'm gonna have the link in the description of this video. With all of that said, we can finally get into the review. This chapter starts off with the Chidori scene from the end of the 42nd chapter, and we basically see Sarada destroying Boro's core. Now, Boro didn't die from this. He wasn't completely defeated, as many of you know. He went crazy later on, and he had a nasty body transformation. But as I said, the destruction of the core didn't completely destroy him. Now, if you've seen my previous reviews on this fight, you probably know that I'm not the biggest fan of this fight, and although it did kind of continue on throughout this chapter as well, this is a completely different story, because in the first 10 pages or so, I mean even earlier, it was pretty much wrapped up. Yes, Boro later on smashed Mitsuki, and then we had that crazy form, you know, that Boruto's form, which I'm gonna get into in a bit. But this is the first time that we're seeing something like that from Boruto, and Boro pretty much wasn't able to do anything at all. It was like a one-sided torture by Boruto, pretty much. But anyway, let's take a step back. Let's get back to those like first 10 to 13 pages. Like, as I said, we have the Chidori scene, and you have Mitsuki explaining it to Kawaki, and then perhaps the biggest scene of this chapter. I know everybody will say, no, it's Momoshiki taking over Boruto's body. Perhaps it's Kashin Koji versus Jigen at the end or whatever. But I think that Naruto being unsealed is the biggest moment of this chapter, because for all we know, he could have been sealed for chapters upon chapters, but no, he's out. He's unconscious, but he's out. I correctly predicted this. I said it multiple times throughout multiple videos that I think that Naruto will get unsealed. Now, that said, I've seen quite a few people, both on Twitter and on Reddit, saying that Kawaki is actually like genuinely quote-unquote evil. Like, you know, he's pretending to be good. He's pretending to be close to Naruto all this time, and, you know, he might backstab him. I mean, look at the first scene in the Boruto anime and the first scene in the Boruto manga, right? Kawaki says, "I'll send you where I sent the 7th." Now, That could either be Ishiki in the possession of Kawaki's body, or Kawaki genuinely changed his mind and did something. That line doesn't necessarily mean that Kawaki did something evil to Naruto. He could have just like sent him somewhere to like a different dimension or something like that, so that he can't fight, so that Kawaki can proceed with his goal or whatever, because clearly Boruto's and Kawaki's ideologies clashed in the first episode / first chapter. But anyway, going back to Kawaki, I don't think he's evil. I don't think he's faking everything. Again, there are some interesting theories, especially on Reddit, but like I don't think that now that Naruto is unconscious, in the next chapter Kawaki is going to try and attack him or something like that. I personally don't see it. I could be wrong. Now, I know that quite a few people are not going to be happy about Naruto being unsealed, because it's like, okay, but what's the point? Like, we got scared for nothing or whatever. I think we're gradually approaching some dark shit. Even in this chapter, I'm not going to phrase him directly, like I'm not going to quote him, directly, but Momoshiki was like, not yet. Of course, he was referring to Boruto's fate, that Boruto is going to like lose everything in the future. Not yet. Think about this whole plot point of Naruto being sealed for a few chapters. Think about that as some type of either foreshadowing or just like a warning. Okay, I still think that Naruto won't die in Boruto, and even if he dies, I think he's going to be revived through like Rina Rebirth, and then Sasuke will die. My theory is that Sasuke will die in the Boruto series and he'll remain dead. We'll see about all of this, but as I said, think about all of this as a warning. This is how I see it. I'm not angry about Naruto being unsealed, and as I already said, I know I'm flexing it, but I have to. Well, I don't, but I want to. I predicted this correctly. Naruto got unsealed. After the whole Naruto being unsealed thing, after that comes a part where Boro is kinda one-shotting everybody, all the way until Boruto's transformation, which, by the way, when that gets animated, I can't even visualize this. It's just gonna be so epic. But I'm looking at the chapter right now on my phone. You have Boro one-shotting everybody, and at this point it's pretty obvious that the fight is near its end. Now, if I saw the spoiler images yesterday, so I knew about Boruto's transformation and everything else, unfortunately, but without that knowledge, I would still assume that something big would happen, because usually in anime, when the villain starts going on a rampage, like a crazy rampage, because Boro was pissed off, right? Because everybody thought that he was defeated or whatnot. Usually when villains start acting like that, something happens, and usually it's like one of the protagonists getting a power-up or something like that, and like counter-attacking, or like some surprise happens, right? And so, I mean, again, I've seen the spoilers, but even without the knowledge of these spoilers, I'd be like, okay, something is gonna happen. I don't see Boro one-shotting everybody, okay? Although, again, and this goes back to the video that I referenced at the start of this video 2 days ago, the fake spoilers said that Kawaki was kidnapped or something like that. So in that sense, maybe I wouldn't have predicted that Boruto would win, but again, that doesn't really matter. This is all like hypothetical situations. Basically, Boruto goes into this transformation, and oh my goodness, we've got stuff to talk about. Now, very important, this is my honest opinion as a Borosara shipper, right? I said it. If you don't know this, I've made a few Borosara videos in the past. I think they're going to end up together, and I want them to end up together because I like their character interactions. So I'm not like biased against this. I personally don't see any Borosara connection in this chapter, because a few people on Twitter, because Boruto transformed literally when Boro was about to completely crush Sarada, right? Boruto transformed at that point and then attacked, and so people said, okay, he wanted to protect her, this is a Borosara moment. He wanted to protect everybody. That was just the tipping point, because Boro was toying with everybody. However, I could see some parallels between Sasuke, Sakura, and Boruto Sarada in this situation, because once Sasuke started his curse mark transformation back in Naruto, Sakura was like, this is not Sasuke. I'm not quoting her exactly. And in this chapter, Sarada was like, Boruto's acting like someone else, basically like this isn't him. So that's a nice little parallel back, when we compare Borosara to Sasusaku. Also, when it comes to Naruto and Hinata, when Pain was toying with Hinata, and Naruto thought that pain killed Hinata, Naruto went through a transformation and he went numb. He went crazy. So we have these like three instances, two of which resulted in like a complete ship or whatever, and in all of these cases you have our like the main characters transforming right into like the next stage. So that's a nice little parallel, but it's a good parallel. And if Boruto and Sarada end up together, it's gonna be nice to reference this. But I don't see this as like a romantic moment. Okay, Boruto just wanted to save everybody. Now, Momoshiki takes over Boruto's body. This was hinted at chapters ago when we saw that little panel of Momoshiki for a split second. And I remember reading that, I was so excited. So like this doesn't surprise me at all. But basically, Momoshiki is pretty much talking through Boruto. I don't even know if Boruto was conscious during all of that. Okay, my bad. He was definitely not conscious because when he woke up, he pretty much couldn't remember anything. So, yeah. Basically, I think one of the first things he says is, "You inferior creature, don't get too cocky." I've talked about Momoshiki's character in the past. I really hope that we'll get his backstory. I think there's a reason why he looks down on humans. I think that within his Ōtsutsuki clan, somebody looked down on him, and he has this inferiority complex. All of this is speculation, none of it is confirmed. Now that we know that Momoshiki will be very relevant in the future of the Boruto series, I'm pretty sure we'll get some info about his past or something like that. And if we don't, I mean, that I just think we'll get it. I mean, this is Naruto at the end of the day. Excuse me. So yeah, and I think when he was like, "Don't get too cocky, inferior creature," I think he was referring to Boro, because Boro was really like toying with everybody and he was kind of getting cocky. I don't think he was referring to Boruto, like, because like Boruto was just trying to protect his friends. Like he was, Boro punched him or whatever, he like pushed him away. I don't see why he would say that to Boruto. So I'm pretty sure he was saying it to Boro. Now, I'm not gonna deeply analyze this, okay, but I'm just gonna throw it out there. I think this deserves a separate video, but I think Momoshiki already had a slight change of heart, because he's probably been observing Boruto ever since episode 65 pretty much, or chapter 10, whatever, or 11, I can't remember exactly what chapter it was. So I think he already had some change of heart, which is why he decided to like take over Boruto's body and like I guess protect everyone. That's one perspective. The second perspective is, well, he was probably afraid that Boro would not only kill like everybody, but like he would kill Boruto at that point. Now, I don't know, like hypothetically, Boruto's the main character, he ain't dying, let's be honest, but let's say hypothetically like Boruto dies, or like he's very close to death. What happens to Momoshiki? This is not the same situation as it was with like Tailed Beast and Shinchurikis. That's a little different. I don't know what would happen here, okay? Momoshiki's not a tailed beast. Would he like officially quote unquote die if Boruto were to get killed? I don't know. So it might not be that he had a change of heart and wanted to help Boruto. It could be just that he was kind of being selfish. Although an interesting detail is Boro was, and correct me if I'm wrong, I mean, I've read the chapter 2 times. I'm pretty sure that Boro was about to punch Sarada, and that's when Momoshiki appeared. Now, it could be that Boruto was so scared that Sarada was going to die, and he pretty much exploded mentally. I mean, I remember when Konohamaru was fighting against Kashi and Koji, the Karma Seal activated. Unconsciously, most likely, and probably something happened here as well. But at this point, you have, Naruto. Well, Naruto was already unsealed at this point, but what I'm trying to say is Boruto went through a lot of psychological not like psychological torture, that sounds too heavy, but you know what I mean. A lot of things have happened recently. His dad was kidnapped, he was finally unsealed, but he was unconscious, he could have been killed, right? All of his friends were getting pretty much destroyed, and I mean, Sarada potentially could have died. So like he reached a tipping point, and he perhaps unconsciously, quote unquote, summoned or called Momoshiki. I don't know if it was Momoshiki taking the initiative or Boruto calling him. Does this mean that Momoshiki could possess his body at any point. I personally doubt it. But yeah, I mean, I'm not, I don't really talk about powers too much. I'm not a power scaler, so I'm not gonna like analyze how strong Boruto was. You could clearly see that he was overpowered as fuck. That was just like next level what he did to Boro. And wow, when this gets animated, I mean, people are gonna be having orgasms left and right. But wow, this was genuinely amazing. Such a great moment, one of the most iconic moments of the entire Boruto manga. Okay, definitely. And overall, I mean, this transformation was full of epic moments. I mean, one of my favorite ones is definitely when Momoshiki was like, what did he call this jutsu of his? Oh yeah, Rasengan. And then he does the Rasengan. Also, you have Momoshiki kind of being annoyed that Boruto doesn't have too much chakra, and then he literally like casually absorbs some chakra from Naruto. Like, bro, I'm like Momoshiki and Boruto by the end of the series, they're gonna have a bromance. I'm calling it now, but let's see about that. But this was just so cool. Okay, the design of Boruto, him growing the Ōtsutsuki horn, the Karma seal, everything was just so cool. Now, as for the actual eye. Okay, there's been a lot of discussion on Twitter. Some people say it's the Jogan, some people say it's the Byakugan. I've said this many times in the past, and a lot of you guys know that I'm not American. English is not my first language. I'm actually from Serbia, and I'm Serbian. So I don't know the English name for like these two parts of the eye, like not like the center, but like the white part. In the manga, because like you clearly saw the Jogan in the anime, right? It's like black on the outside, and inside it's kind of like light blue / white, whatever, very light color, right? But in this chapter it was pretty much white. It almost looked like a Byakugan, kind of. Now, I think it's the Jogan. I just think that this is how they're gonna do it in the manga. Perhaps if the outer parts were black, they would blend with the Karma, and it wouldn't look as clean, as good in the manga. I don't know if this is a good explanation for this. I'm not a manga artist. I'm not an artist in general. I don't know how to draw. I suck at drawing, and I don't know much about drawings. This is just like something that this is the first thing that I was thinking about when I was thinking of how to, I guess, explain this, because I'm sure it's not the Byakugan. Now, yeah, I'm 100% sure it's not the Byakugan, okay? And if it was the Byakugan, because like some people were saying, okay, this might be Momoshiki's Byakugan. I mean, Momoshiki had two Byakugans. So like if this was fully Momoshiki's eyes, if these were fully Momoshiki's eyes, both eyes would be activated, right? You could clearly see that Boruto's left eye was closed. So again, I'm pretty sure this is the Jogan. It doesn't look like it, that's for sure, but I think this is the Jogan for the reasons that I explained. And you can't have Boruto having the Jogan in the anime and then having the Byakugan in the manga. I mean, this is the same story. Yeah, the anime is the full story, right? The manga is an outline, and the anime even expands upon the manga and even changes a few things. But like we're talking about two different worlds here, okay? For all we know, Jogan might be one of the most powerful dojutsu ever, if not the most powerful. And Byakugan is like, okay, I don't want to say that it's useless, but like you know what I mean. I don't think it's anywhere near what Jogan could potentially be, if you get what I mean. And Jogan is definitely more exciting. It's like a new concept introduced in Boruto. Again, I don't think this is the Byakugan. I just wanted to clarify this. But anyway, I'll definitely make more videos about this transformation, about Momoshiki in the future. This video is already too long, so I'm not gonna analyze this too much. Again, there will be more videos in the future, so make sure you're subscribed with post notifications on for that. Yeah, I mean, that's all I have to say about the Momoshiki transformation. I think it's epic. I'm not surprised by it. Again, the Boruto manga clearly foreshadowed this, and props to Kodachi for writing this so well. And after all of this, we have one final scene, and this is something that I did a video, I think a couple of days ago, titled Boruto Volume 12 Expectations, and one of the things that I said that I want to see in Volume 12, because this was the final chapter of Volume 11, it was basically Kashin Koji confronting Jigen, and it happened. Now, earlier in this review, I said that Naruto being unsealed is the most important fact about this chapter. I think I used the word important. Perhaps I used something else. This is a long review, for fuck's sake. But I agree. I agree with that still, with what I said earlier. But I would argue that Kashin Koji confronting Jigen is the most hype moment of this chapter. Even more hype than the Momoshiki transformation. Personally, right? Subjectively. This is going to be epic, guys. I think this is going to be epic. First of all, before we get into the actual, I guess, prediction when it comes to this fight or whatnot, I mean, it's kind of confirmed that we already knew about Kashin Koji, but Amado pretty much wants to take down Jigen / Ishiki, whatever. Like, this is 100% confirmed. You could clearly see Amado and Kashin Koji working together in this chapter. Now, I'll say one thing. Just imagine if Amado is actually pretending to work with Kashin Koji, and like we could see like Kashin Koji approaching Jigen, and perhaps Amado attacks Kashin Koji from behind or something like that, kind of similar to the Black Zetsu thing. Just because of that situation, I'm not gonna say that I'm 100% certain that they're working together. It's most likely the case, but I'm just saying it's perfectly possible that Amado is pretending to be on his side. Like, all I'm saying is it's possible. We'll see what it is in the next chapter. But basically, Amado, and again, it's unlikely, but I just wanted to throw it out there as a possibility. Amado told Kashin Koji that Jigen hasn't even recovered, like, he's like less than 10% recovered or whatever. And Kashin Koji asks him about Boro and Code, and Amado's like, they're out. Code was with the Ten Tails, and Boro, I mean, you guys know what's going on with Boro, right? Now, I guess this means if Amado is definitely working with Kashin Koji, this probably confirms that Code and Boro aren't, because Kashin Koji was relieved that they're not there. So it was like good timing, right? And he confronts Jigen, and he's like, I'm gonna take him down. So no jokes, guys. He literally said, I'm gonna take him down, meaning that we're definitely gonna get a fight. I mean, he said, I'm gonna take him down, so I'm expecting an attack in the next chapter. And this also deserves a separate video, so I'm not gonna talk about this in depth right now. But basically, my prediction is that Kashin Koji is not gonna die here, and Jigen is not gonna die either. Okay, this is my prediction. Like, not gonna predict anything else in this video. This is my prediction for now. And if I had to pick one character that I think will die, I would say Jigen, actually. Okay, because call me crazy, but whatever. Again, I don't think anybody will die, but it is what it is. I'm gonna give this chapter 10 out of 10. I don't think I need to explain myself. I mean, this chapter had so many iconic moments. It had great foreshadowing. It had epic moments, graphic moments, violence. Oh my god, this chapter was just like next level. One of the best chapters of the Boruto manga by far. Okay, objectively, subjectively, in every single way possible, this is one of the best chapters of the Boruto manga, and this concludes Boruto Volume 11. What a conclusion. Anyway, guys, that was your boy Hokage. Thank you for watching. Once again, 10 out of 10 from me. Let me know how you felt about this chapter in the comment section of this video. That was your boy Hokage. Boruto greatness, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.